Hello traders, I'm still watching this 15-minute candle we were on a little bit ago that stopped me out on the short trade, and this impulsive move is looking pretty strong, and so we'll watch it here for a couple minutes and I may go ahead and go long. Got 3 hours of trading left. It might want to get up here to the top of the trend again, and if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3, 4, and then 5, then it's going to go a little above that. So we might get, if it does head up, it might get above like 27.55 before the market closes. That'd be 8 points. But we'll see. I'm not convinced because we don't have a close above this again. But the fact that this came down and then went to here, pivoted, came back, and then went above that pivot is pretty good. Is a pretty good indication that the impulsive wave is probably real, and my ABC is probably back here. But again, there's two ways you can take trades. You can do, in my view, I can do aggressive trade or I can do conservative trade. Aggressive trade I define as I'm fairly positive. Not positive, but I got some evidence that it's going in a certain direction. I look at the pattern like I did on that last one that got me stopped out, and because it had been so weak and had come back down pretty strong, it's aggressive because I needed to go below this point right here. In fact, you know what? I've got a pin here. Let's try this. Pin. Needed it to go below this point right here. Ooh, that's ugly. Sorry about the depth, the width. Let's go 2. Yeah, needed to go below this to be a conservative trade. So it was aggressive. And now to be conservative, I want to see a close up above here. Go back to my pointer. Close those tools. I'll get used to using those writing tools yet. So I'll put this on pause so you don't just have to sit here and watch. Some of you might be watching the market this morning, Friday morning. It's 10:45 Pacific time. I'll pause it for a minute, watch what this does, and maybe come back with you. And if it shows us its true colors here. Okay, that 15-minute bar closed near the top. It's still pushing. It doesn't look like it wants to drop down. If I go long here, I'm going to need to set about, not too bad, 7.5 point trade. So let's take this long and understand we've got 3 hours left. Well, about 3 hours left in the market. So let me set my stop down here about 7 points. So that's going to be 40.5 to 40.5. All right, and again, I kind of consider that an aggressive trade because I don't have confirmation. It hasn't closed above that high right there. But with the strength of the impulsive move, again, I took it. I'm willing to risk the 7 points, and we'll watch what it does, and I'll get back with you here in a little bit. And I didn't mention it, but I am going to, not that I normally would, but I'm going to set a stop a few points above this in case it takes it out. And I may modify that, so we'll see. Let's go, and not a stop, I mean to take profit. Let's go up to 55. That's right above that high. Because if this is the 3, 4, 5 ABC and it's starting a new trend, 1, 2, going up to 3 of 3. So the wave 3 will be broken into 5 waves, possibly. And if it does, then it probably might take that high out, in fact. And how much time we have? We have a little over 3 hours. So, but I'll set this up to about 9 points here, which will give us, it'd have to go 2.5 points above the high. So we'll see if that's realistic or not. If it really starts pushing hard, we might be able to move that up since we do have some time. But we'll see if the market's got the willingness here to head above or not. I'll put this on pause and come back to you guys in a little bit. All right, well, it definitely looks like it's going to push. If it is starting the new trend, then there's nothing stopping it from heading a good distance above this last high. If that's the 1, 2, and now it's heading up to 3 on the, let's look at this trade here, 4 hour, 1 up here to the top, 2, now it's heading to 3. That's with the theory that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, and now it's heading up for a new trend, which on the 6 hour trade would be 1, 2. 2 didn't go down very far because of the strength of the market, and now it's heading up again. And definitely fits our ABC scenario, our wave 1, wave 2, and then going up to wave 3. So there's nothing stopping it from heading way up for the next 3 hours. So what I need to do is, let me put this back out of the way here, get the 4 out of the way. What I need to do then is keep an eye on this, 1, 2, and then just count on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3. So depending on how far this pushes, how fast, I'm just going to get this thing up out of the way for now. And right now, if it does get up there, it'll be 15 points. So we'll see what it does. We'll keep watching it, and I'll come back to you when it's moved some more. We'll see where we're at. Wanted to make another quick comment on my reading of this correction, ABC versus A, B, C. If this is an elongated A and this is going up to B and then it's going to go down to C, if that's actually what it's trying to do, this is a valid A, B, C until this takes out this last high. Won't be a B wave if it gets above here, and then I'll know that this is the correct reading of that correction. So that's kind of one way I know when it gets to that point whether I'm reading this correction right or not. And I'm interested to see what it does right up here at the high, because if this is on the longer term, like the 4 hour, if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of wave 3, so wave 1's here, 2, and then it's 1 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however you break down a wave 3. If that is a wave 3 to there, and then it's going to wave 4, now it's going up to 5. A lot of times one of the ways that you will learn with Elliott Wave when you're looking at price action to see the end of a trend, end of a wave 5, is it tends to go sometimes just a little bit above the wave 4. And that's what technical traders call a double top, and what they're really looking at is a wave 3, 4, 5. So if it gets above this a little bit, then that could be the end of it. I'm giving it right now about 8 points to go above, so I'm kind of assuming that that's the end of the wave 5 on the longer term chart because of the length of the correction, and it actually does want to go above. Don't know that. We'll just watch it and see. Hello everyone. It is noon Friday, 2 hours to the close. Thought I'd give a quick update. I am still in this long trade off of the correction and just seeing if it wants to, the market wants to try to get above that last high and move a little bit farther before it closes. So I'm going to update you here, and if we get above it, we get above it. If not, we'll close somewhere in here and take that last little profit. Turns around on me. I've got my stop loss set at 6 points. So we'll see what happens. I'll get back with you in a bit. All right, it is 12 minutes after noon Pacific time, so I'm still 2 hours away from the close, and watching what my long trade's doing here. It's trying to push above that old high. I don't think it's going to have a problem with that, simply because that was the end of the trend back then, and now it's trying to start a new one. Now, whether it does that on a Friday or not, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty confident that Sunday, Monday, it's going to head on up, because I think it's done correcting, at least on the 4 hour time frame and 1 hour time frame. So just an interesting note here, people who like to camp on support and resistance, anytime a market's in an uptrend, it's going to continually take out resistance. Anytime it's in a downtrend, it's going to continually take out support. So support and resistance, to me anyway, and this is my personal opinion, trading Elliott Wave and watching price action, support and resistance means nothing to me. The only context it does maybe mean a little bit of something is at the top of a wave 3, 4, 5, and then it's just a matter of the fact that wave 5 usually goes a little beyond 4 before it corrects. Other than that, support and resistance means nothing. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit. I've got a take profit set up there at 16 points. Don't know if it'll hit it here in the next hour and a half, 2 hours, but I'm going to let it push. And normally I would obviously keep this open until the trend told me, at least on the 1 hour, the trend told me that it was done and starting correcting. But since this is Friday, you got to kind of little bit pick a spot, and if it surges, you get it. If it goes beyond it, you don't worry about it, and if it doesn't go beyond it, you just close it wherever it's at when you get close to the end of Friday. So I will get back to here as soon as it moves some more, or maybe if it surges, it'll actually take me out in the next 2 hours. All right, it's been a few minutes since that last update. It is 12:31. So we had about an hour and a half before the market closes. Still got my take profit set up here at plus 16. Still pushing, so I'm going to hang on to that. And if it gets close, I'll turn the tape back on or the video back on, and maybe we can watch it go through. So if I go down to a smaller time frame just to see what this last push is doing, yeah, there's nothing telling me that it's really done. I mean, that's a 4-minute time frame. You go, that's small. 5. Yeah, it could be rolling over. Could be rolling over. Probably is, in fact. So let's get out of there with 10.5 points. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Sometimes this time of day on a Friday, kind of hard to exactly make that decision. But you know what? With the way the CCI is looking, let's bug out of here. And we're going to get, for this last trade, go 10.5 points, get that 7 back plus a little bit. Well, now we'll hang in there a little bit longer, see what happens. Kind of hard to make that decision when it's an hour and a half to go to the end of the market. And in fact, what are the volumes doing right now? Let's see on the 15-minute chart. Here's my volume line right there. So let's just go through this. Volumes 23, 30 grand, 36,000, 9,000, 9,000. So dropped off pretty good on that. This is the last bar. And we've got most of the bar to go. So volume's still doing all right. Last 15-minute bar, 36,000. This one's at 10, and it's still rolling. So we'll stick with it for a little bit, and I'll get back with you. All right, I moved my take profit down to 13 points. So if it peaks up just a little above where it's gone, I'll just take the 13. Be done for the week. Not worry about if it's going up farther. So we'll let this run for a minute and see if it takes me out. And then I'll do a summary video for the week. Over 100 points this week in 10 trades, so pretty happy with that. So we'll if this closes out, I'll just cover the close in my summary, weekly summary video. Thanks everybody for watching.